And then, of course, we have our hyper bucket, which is like the physics on this is super awesome. So Howie definitely outdid himself with the physics in the hyper bucket. And let's see what we got. So I tagged Ash. I'm not. Let's see if he's made it on yet. Not yet. Oh, yes. Howie. He's on. Oh, yeah. his profile picture is the hyper bucket, the gibletized hyper bucket. Let's see. I guess I could try. I'm not sure. Did he drop this? I think he dropped the particle apps inside of the general. Let me see if it was general or developer. He threw it. Yeah,
it's in the dev. It's in the dev chat.
I'll see if I could throw down something in. And then we also have the 3D viewer, or the 360 viewer, which MetaRick had built. Let's see, where is it?
And this, I forwarded from the into the stage side chat the original post of the video.
Oh yeah, I forgot I could do that. Yeah, that's actually.
And if you click on like where it says, okay, I need to write docs, there's a video right below it too.
Let's see. And then the docs.
Some reason didn't let me forward the video itself, but it's a message right below that one.
And let's see. So am I sharing the screen or the? I think I'm sharing only the browser.
Sharing the world. Yeah. Just the browser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be a problem. Yeah, let me see if I can share the right thing. Let's share the whole screen there. Screen 2. There we go. So that's one of the videos, and then oh yeah, that's a massive video. Load test. And then I'll see if I can share another one. Oh, of course, my browser decides to. There we go. Nope. Oops. Oh yeah, definitely. If you and we posted a link in the announcements as well, so definitely go on X and reshare that. Those particles are pretty cool.
Yeah, he definitely did some improvements on the amount that everything can handle. Because I feel like Doge kind of hacked using images as particles like a while back, but it was a bit. It took a bit of it. It was very consuming, I guess, in a way, right? Because it was like remaking a UI image canvas every single time, and so Ash did some magic here for sure. You got animations, rotations, bunch of different images going on, all next to each other in the world. Seamless, looks good. Really opens up some possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Some low overhead, cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, people are excited for power-ups and things like that to use the particles to show, kind of give effect, little pop to the activities. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for Ash to kind of give us an update on his side of things to share where he has been working on and what he'll be looking towards. In the meantime, we could start going through and talking through some of the other updates that we've had or folks have been building. So Fractilians, thank you for posting this on your side. So this is the your conference from last month. Is the video you produced, like you recorded all of this and edited, or did they give you some clips as well?
No, I did it all. I mean, I wish I'd taken more time to do like more interviews. I just didn't have the time because I was like teaching and running around. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's all little clips that I took. They have their own a bunch of videos they've done and socials on Facebook and stuff like that. And yeah, like that's the only regret. I'm like, oh, I met so many other cool teachers, had so many good things to say about Hyperfy, but I didn't have they were on to because they went to from workshop to workshop. They had another workshop to go to,
Mm.
but the ones that I did manage to get, it was cool. At least a couple of them, but yeah, hopefully next year if I get to go back and do something to build upon this, definitely will take the time to get as many little short clips as possible because it was really cool to hear how they would use it in the classroom.
Yeah. It was super nice to see like students jumping around in the Hyperfy world and doing things like that. So that was, and then I think one of my apps, my little prototype apps made an appearance, and I see the Hyperduck made an appearance too. So that was pretty neat.
Oh yeah, it was cool. I was trying to grab a bunch there. I gave him like a bunch of different fun things to play with, and yeah, they had like little exercise files of like little hypes and GLBs from everyone here in the community that I could grab, and then they, again went and used all the AI tools to build their own models, drag them in, and 50 minutes wasn't much time at all, but they did. They got a nice little overview. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Can you make that video bigger?
Oh,
Play it?
sorry. Let's see. Yeah. And so there's also, we got the 360 app. Let me see if I could I don't even think I can get access to that video, but yeah, let's see. Oh, wait, let me just.
We can show that one in a minute. I have that set up.
Oh, you got to set up nice. And then the only other update I think I see here is just the grass that Get Jan had created. Let me see where I could get grass. Or no, it was flower that he added like flower power to his grass, which I think it's inside of the world. Let me double check. I think he mentioned that it's in the world. Let's see. Could have sworn I saw it. No, I guess.
What was the kind of like feedback and stuff you got from the STEM stuff, Fractilians? Like, were people finding it easy to do stuff, or was it fun?
Yeah, no, they had fun. I mean, the one thing is I wish I'd had like when I used to teach with them, it was like week-long intensive, so it would have been really cool to had more time because they were just like scratching the surface, but they all really had fun. As you can tell, the teachers got it right away. The kids were just, having fun dragging and dropping, and since I was just running around helping and dealing with some of the technical issues like at first, like before I got it all set up, HP was super helpful. HP rocked, and getting like the admin thing to work on different browser, like the Edge one, it didn't work, so I had to reinstall Brave and stuff like that. But all the teachers really liked it. I had a lot of like computer science teachers in there, and as you could see, I had middle elementary school. I had history teachers, like everybody was full spectrum, which was cool. But the ones that I wish I got in the clip from was the esports teacher. He was like esports coach, which is really cool. And there was computer science, a lot of computer science teachers in there. So they all, the ones who were able to go to that particular workshop, they all really liked it and definitely wanted to keep using it because it's super easy. And this, in that video when she was talking about it, the fact that you could just drag and drop and people can like right away run around what they do made it really easy for them to understand the file format, how they could build and stuff like that. So yeah, really positive feedback.
And did they jump on in each other's do they jump on each other's world as well? Like they go and visit somebody else's world that they were building?
They could. I mean, and again, 50 minutes was really a short time, but they did have access to all 5. I had HP gave me like 10 worlds. We had 5 that we actually like I had all the passwords. So some of them I did see go to their friends stuff, but I'm sure if we had like a longer session, that's definitely what they would have done. But each student had like 3 or 4 people per world, so they're already co-building and collaborative building, which is cool to see. But this was before when the gizmo was updated, so definitely it was a lot harder for them, but again, they were using AI tools, dragging it in and having fun. But I think they'll have even more fun with the updated ability to, do what you want and place it where you want.
And were those worlds like a one-off for the weekend, or are they still building off of them?
Some of them are still up. I've cleaned up most of it, and a lot of it, a lot of their time was spent playing with AI tools. And unfortunately, like I wish I played with the one Ash had shown me that was much faster. I think next time I would definitely use a different 3D model generation stuff that because it was much faster. The one I forget the name of it, Ash. The one you gave me was really cool. I used that to make some models. It was really cool. But yeah, they did run around in each other's one for the little bit of time. And again, I'm actually going to be helping them a little bit more curriculum stuff based around the stuff we did do. So I have all the stuff is still up there for teachers to use, and they have access to all the docs and everything. So yeah, hopefully we'll still be seeing
Yeah,
building.
Cool. HP says the words are still available, they'll stay there. Yeah, I was asking because it would be cool maybe if like I don't know, we could pop in, we could drop them some surprises, little videos, some like special hypes that might be fun to play with, and just like keep it as like an ongoing open dialogue between the community and like and the kids that are learning so that they stay invested or intrigued, right? You can keep
Totally.
dropping new things in there and like keep the worlds updated to the latest dev and stuff. And
Yeah, that's the hope. And I'm actually looking into seeing where I can get some grants to keep doing this kind of stuff, across different a whole bunch of different places, like Web3 grants type ideas. And again, I am meeting with them again next week to do just that. To how can we continue having them use this as a tool for their classroom and stuff like that. So I'll definitely report back to see what they have to say. And again, for this preliminary, it's really great to have HP give me those worlds. And ideally, in the future, I would have pay him have these hosted worlds continuously, so teachers can just have all this stuff for free.
And then that 3D tool, was it Meshy or was another one?
Yeah, Meshy. We use
Yeah.
Luma.
I think it was
Dream Machine.
Meshy and Triple.
Yeah, the one what was the one, Ash, that you did that cool thread? I was playing with that. It was so much cooler.
Yes. Trapo SG, I think it was.
Yeah, that one's really cool. I'll definitely use that one
Yeah.
next time. But and then I use the mesh, whatever the sorry, it's been a long day. I probably should.
Meshy.
No, the other tool that reduces the try count in Blender. That was really nice to see. It's the add-on in
Remesh,
Blender.
yeah, Remesh.
Yeah.
Quad remesher or something.
Yeah, that one was really good. I mean, we didn't get a chance to do Blender, but again, it would be really fun to do like a week long where you do all this, get to play with things like that, and go into Blender, learn some of the basics, and all the stuff basically you outlined the thread would be really great for them to like.
It's getting really fast there. Like yesterday, I went from ChatGPT to a fully textured 3D model in I think less than a minute. Because like ChatGPT, it takes like a good 20 seconds for an image, but then as soon as you drop that image into Tripo, it takes like 20 seconds for the GLB, and then another 20 seconds for the texture. And I think, yeah, it needs to be faster. It's still like I want that in real time. I want to be like in a world saying I want this here and I want one of those over here and I want this one over here, and it's just generating it on the fly. That would be awesome.
That would be super awesome. The only thing I had issues when I was trying to do it myself is that the transfer from the high mesh to the low mesh texture transfer. For some reason, I could never get it to work. I like did it like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but maybe I'll post my whatever I'm doing in the dev channel and see if I can get it to. And then the back of it was blank. I don't know if you had that happen when the 3D model imported. The back texture had no color.
That's weird. No, I haven't seen that one.
Yours had? Okay, so maybe it's just whatever the hell I did. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to play with it some more.
And I posted the link to that creator thread that you shared, Ash, to kind of go that shows from concept to to our 3D model. Super cool.
Yeah. Oh, what's up with this new Darth Vader dude?
I think he's a special character that he made, but then we ended up with a hyper. What are they called again?
Hyperion goblin that nobody likes.
I like the Hyperion goblin.
Maybe it's an unlock. Maybe we have to the Hyperion miners turn into they get a costume. But yeah, let me pass it over to you, Ash, and kind of describe. One of the biggest thing was your particle update, and so that was pretty neat. And Umka was mentioning like performance is great too on it.
So the call's been really good this week. I feel like we've got lots of stuff happening. So videos, which was the first step to getting screen sharing and then getting screen sharing going. And then we've got particles. This was the second attempt at particles. We tried to do something a little bit I tried to do something a little bit more flexible to begin with a couple of months back, maybe a month ago. And it kind of got to the point where I was like, it's not like the performance wasn't as I was expecting. So I ended up redoing that. But yeah, so it's really good. Now we've got some better particle systems, and we can. They're super flexible, and you can do lots of stuff. They're almost on par with like Unity and Unreal particles, but there's a couple things that are missing, and like a couple of options that I think would probably be super useful. So yeah, we'll just keep iterating on that. But yeah, you can do all sorts of things now. You can do like car skid marks as you're driving along. You've got like an emission over distance instead of an emission over time, so that you can like do it while you're running around and stuff like that. And yeah, it should be super cool. I think the main reasons.
The screen show.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying we can hop in the meet world and move things over there and show the screen share and stuff if you want.
Oh yeah, did we set up that world?
Yeah, we added there's some screen sharing screens in there. We got a little amphitheater.
Ooh.
So everyone can hop in this world. We could be screen sharing in there instead of
sounds good.
The screen there if you want.
Ooh, what are
anchors
on
the
seats?
Amphitheater? Yeah, the anchors were being ironed out. It was having some problem, but they're supposed to all be anchored right now.
Do you click a button or something to sit on it?
I think the action trigger is currently trying to get implemented, so it's like a work in progress. I'm able to load in. There's screen shares in there. There's a builder drone around if you want to fly the builder drone around. Work in progress idea being kind of less of like an enclosed meeting space ideally, and more like you can have like a meeting room theater kind of seat. You can play around with different aspects. Disconnected as you've been connected. Doge did some stuff like the far left video can have multiple videos in it. You can flip through it with the on-screen UI. The idea of the portal will be to go to the play world. There's
oh man, who made that?
Like learning stuff. What?
That's really cool. The presentation thing.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's
UI controls for it.
yeah, that's
TV remote.
You remember the video I had the other day with the little small, like the Radiation King TV? That's just is pretty much the script here, and it's applied onto here, so you can have up to 5 videos. You can have there's no audio on the changing thing, but you can add like different remote click sounds, whatever, on the change, and yeah, go from there. Global or spatial. There's a couple options if you expect it, but yeah, pretty much what that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so went through and put like all the highlight videos that you post in dev chat on there. With the idea that you can flip through them like while you're showing. You could be sharing on the middle screen there. I don't know if people are jumped in world or still here in Discord.
In the world right now, yeah.
Just one thing is that I don't think that I don't think it's multiplayer right now. That screen on the left. Like when you flip through the videos.
It needs to be networked, yeah. We were talking about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
That's really cool though, because you can preload all of your videos that you want to do for like a like presentation or some shit, and then you can just flick through them. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to get. It wasn't networked right before, but yeah, that's what we were trying to do. Get all the highlight videos from the week in there, and you can just always put them in there. So.
Awesome.
I think there's a little bit of an issue too as well with the screen sharing networking. I'm not sure if that's there. Maybe it's audio size, but I think somebody might have just popped something up on the screen.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, okay, cool, okay. Yeah, so
yeah, it's set to it's like meant to be 1080p 30 FPS, but like it's kind of like not for me. It looks more like 2 FPS. So like it's probably fine if you're screen sharing websites and stuff like that. You're showing people things, but it needs to. There's maybe some issues that we can fix. For more real time
the
stuff.
other side is I'm like recording, screen sharing on Discord and in a world and sharing on inside the world. So it might be me. Might be a me problem.
Yeah, it might just be your network, maybe. Yeah, who knows?
I will say it does work pretty smooth. Yesterday, I could drop some videos. I got to get them trimmed up. Basically playing Fallout and one that was live streaming, and then having another one kind of live streamed as well. That it was from the Hyperfy world, like the tatted alien world, and going into them both simultaneously. And so it was pretty smooth on that side too as well. So you can have like multi things depending on if you're wanting to do a specific window. I like how that option is in it now as well. Versus just an absolute, you have to share this, screen or this tab in particular. It comes in handy for that in a sense. Like I said, yeah, you can have Discord up on one, the whole chat, anything else. If you've got Blender or whatever on another one, just make sure each screen is unique and unlinked. Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, so this is slowly making steps towards being able to have more functional worlds. I think we're almost at the point where we can probably start doing the like town hall meetings in like fully in these worlds rather than Discord, but I don't really know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I guess that's the ultimate goal, right?
I think it's pretty close to being able to do that. I don't see any reason not to. The Rustan was mentioning you can take Rustan, you can take it and make everyone, I think, give everyone permission to do anything, and then you could load your VRM. But yeah, just a VRM would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
That one.
So some kind of permission that's just like you can change your avatar, but you can't go and delete everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Screen sharing queue. Yeah. There's an option on this screen right now. That's got permission. So the screen sharing is actually like it's not something that we need in the core. You can just have you can decide, like, if you want to add a screen sharing to your world, you can use an app that lets everyone do it, or like this app here specifically has an option that's like only let admins do it or let everyone do it.
Like that.
I'd like to do the same sort of thing with the with audio, like microphone audio. It's like right now it's hard coded so that everyone, if you have voice chat in your world, it's always proximity. Like it's not global, like spatial. It's always spatial, sorry. But I'd like to change that so that you can have more fine, so that like inside the app you can actually control whether it's spatial, whether it's not spatial. Maybe toggling, but that might be a security issue. Probably not. And then you can do things like having the main guest, like if you stand on the main area of your like stadium type thing, spatial distance. Yeah. Like, I basically want it so that everyone's, like in some worlds, especially in a meeting world, you want to have like spatial voice chat, but you also want the ability to get up on a stage and the person on the stage has like global chat so you can hear them anywhere in the world. And maybe even while someone's speaking on the stage that everyone else gets muted, depending. Like stuff like that. Like I just want to have it more fluid so that you can kind of create like all these different things.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's necessary too for events like you're saying, or presentations, or being able to kind of mix audio throughout the world and stuff.
Yeah, for teachers would definitely probably want that. You know, if you have like a little classroom expedition and presenting and stuff like that would be really, really cool.
You know, there's a couple of things I feel like, I guess you could say, like, especially now with all of this, and I guess probably building or put together some kind of like a switch box or anything, you know, or almost like that, like a presentation app in that sense, where it kind of has all of those controls within it at once, right? You know, it links up to, you know, this is only active for this person, but if they're in control, it's like, you know, not necessarily a soundboard, but, you know, well, maybe so in that sense, but for everything. Right, you know, it would give that access to it, and instead of having all the different apps over into one, yeah, have it access for that. That would be okay.
So would that be like a like you say, a remote control that you can enable? Like somebody grabs a remote control and then.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of it too. Like even from some of they had some back in like how was it Resonite Neos? They had a couple of worlds that were essentially you would go in and you would have like your podium, right, wherever the speaker was at and stuff. But then you'd actually have like a full backstage area that was literally like one old thing that controlled everything, from the way the cameras switched, from the audio that would go in, right, like to the videos on the wall, like everything that swapped up, like almost like a full event style, but it was all ran off of the one like board that was in the back. Right. So like, you know, you could pick between, oh, you've got this user in here, make their mic work more, right? Swap the camera onto them. So, I mean, at the moment now, there's literally nothing stopping it from being possible, I don't think. In here, it just has to be, you know, it'd be one of those that would kind of all in one and have it sync together. That would be a nice little project to go through and do. But yeah, you can see it working. I mean, if everything now kind of has that controls individually as is, yeah. It would just be a matter of building that app in particular to control all of it at once, you know, or simultaneously, anything for that matter. Yep.
I cannot move this.
And I think we don't have to worry about security just as much with that type of controller type room. You know, people may not be able to get access to that area anyways. So, all righty. Cool.
Yeah. How he's got a good idea is like basically being able to control the spatial distance inside of an app so that you can kind of like do whatever you want. I think the biggest issue there is probably just as a side note is more of like security on how the hell you mute somebody. So it's kind of weird right now in that you have to be able to do that on the server on an app or something like that. Anyway, that's, yeah.
And so
Yeah, that's more on
besides,
the live share side of things, right?
Yeah.
and so besides the video sharing, the audio kind of enhancements, what else do you see being needed for collaboration?
Yeah, we're getting close, right? It depends what kind of things like you want to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking like this like stadium type of seating where somebody's presenting something they've worked on. I would almost say the web. Do we even have that type of component? The web. I remember back
Yeah,
in the day
web
with
views. Yeah.
web view.
No, we don't have that yet, but we should definitely add it.
And then in the chats, you mentioned also the like a hyper OS basically of being able to map file types. Could you explain that a little bit? Is that something that you're building now, or just noodling, thinking about it now? About
There's a couple things that I'm working on right now. So for me, like, still thinking about like creator side, non-dev, like trying to get that to a point that's nice. But yeah, so like the idea with apps is that in V1 we basically just had a list of apps and they were all built into the platform, and you couldn't really, that was like it was just, that was it. And if you drag and dropped a GLTF into the world, it would use the model app, and if you dragged a PNG or a JPEG into the world, it would use the image app. And I think basically what we're going to do is have these custom, like the world will start with default apps that are similar to V1, but you can change all of them. You can remove them if you've got a better version of an image, that like an image app that you want to use that has more features or something on it that someone in the community or yourself built. You can just swap it out. But also, like, you could change what app gets used. So a lot of people use the model app because it'll let you turn on collision and stuff like that for a GLTF. But you might make a better one, or you might just want it to be like, instead of using a default model app, you might use something completely different, and you can just change what that is. So basically just mapping in your world, you can map the file extensions to what app it will use.
Oh, that is neat.
Which to me just seems more like an operating system. It's kind of the exact same thing. Like, you've got this idea of like worlds as operating systems, which is pretty cool, but also trying not to be too technical about it. But yeah, it's like, yeah, everything in the world is an app. You can have file extensions as handlers and all that kind of stuff. Hey, that's a cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not in VR, so what? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Is that like an emote?
It's like you sat and played a sitting animation, but the camera is attached to your head, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's super neat.
First.
That's cool.
Yeah, could anybody maybe take the screen share and let's take a look at what it looks like, because I'm looking at I don't know what I look like talking on a bench. But yeah, it's pretty neat, the first person type of thing. It does feel weird though. That is one thing I'll mention. It feels weird to have yourself moving without control.
Yeah, the auditorium is meant, it won't be moving as much. Like, it's got the sitting and talking emote, like that was part of the camp chairs on that currently. But sitting still is also one where it's just ever so slightly bobbing as if you're like breathing in idle, but it's not doing the like talking back and forth. And that's what those auditoriums anchors will be. Are almost.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I see now the animation. Let me see how I get full screen it. Yeah.
That's something like an unexpected feature, is that if you're screen sharing, somebody else can come along and screen share over the top. But it keeps yours going so that when you're finished, it pops back into yours. So like,
that's
I don't
pretty
know
cool.
Yeah, it's an unexpected, like, it's almost a bug the way that I set it up, but I'm kind of like, I think I'll just keep it because it's a feature. Because you could just be you could have a main person that's presenting, but then someone just jumps in, screen shares something, and then leaves, which is what I just did. And then it just went straight back to his.
Like that.
Yeah, this is like an evolution of the idle camera.
Yeah.
I got, okay, so we're here, it's community call. You just mentioned a little bit earlier there, Ash, about the, creator side there. I noticed today they had some updates for, I guess, like mobile, right? Pointer stuff like this. Is there anything coming for VR along that nature? Like even something simple as being able to like move objects or, interact with things inside the world, like through VR anytime soon? Okay.
I want to do a couple things there. So I'm currently like sidelining, working on like just minor bits and pieces, and one of those things was adding the jump button and an interact button to mobile controls, which is now there. And I wouldn't say that's the final place that it's going to be. This was just MVP. It was like, get the buttons in there and move on with my life. But I really want to do a couple of things there to make the UI a little bit better. I'm just looking at other platforms, doing research and stuff as to like, there's not many platforms out there that have user-generated content that also work on desktop, mobile, and VR. They're like in the entire world.
I know we got some folks here that can gladly, I will 100% absolutely volunteer time to I need to get back more in the headset anyways, but there's some we can show you there. I'm pretty sure others out there know.
It's just like the biggest concern is just like the user experience of doing that, because it's like you have the ability as a developer in the world to create these custom UI buttons and put them on the screen, but you have to also think about where the button is displayed, or whether it is even displayed at all on desktop, on mobile, and on VR. And right now, VR, we don't really have the concept of a screen, so you can't even put a button on a screen, so you can only have buttons in world. But for a mobile device, you've got this tiny little area that you can put buttons on, and desktop, you've got lots of room. You can put goats along the top banner like we used to have in the play world that Omka added, like weird things like that, but you can't, there's not enough room on a mobile device to do that. But yeah, anyway, so it's just like I don't know, there's so many different ways. There's not many platforms in the entire planet that do that, and I think the only one that I can even think of that does that on the top of my head is Roblox. And so I'm kind of looking to them at how they've done it, but the more you look into how they're doing it, the more you realize that they themselves kind of shot themselves in the foot multiple times, because it gets really weird and complex, and there's some weird shit there. So like Roblox offer the ability to have buttons on your screen that only show up on mobile, but then they also had like some weird escape hatch so that you can just completely get rid of those and make your own custom buttons. And it's like, maybe it should just be that from the start. So yeah, it's all about UX. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. So I'm spending a little bit of time working on VR UX improvements, mobile UX improvements, but also looking at the UI kind of buttons and stuff like that. So for example, like we have this concept of a UI layer that you can put in the world, and you can display it in the world, but you can also display it on the screen, in screen space or world space. There's a third one there where I want it to, if you look at the interact buttons, like that have the, hold E and it spins around to finish those things, the actions.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like in between, right? Like it's on the screen and it stays the same size no matter the distance that you are away from it. But it's still attached to a thing in world. And so I want to make that like a normal thing. I want to create this thing. So we've got world space, we've got screen space, but I want to have this new one, which is like more like an overlay, where it's attached to a physical object in the world, but it's still kind of a thing on your screen. It's just in the right position. Yeah. And that the reason I'm saying that is because I want to do a couple of things in VR to make it a little bit more easier to interact with UI and menus and stuff like that in VR.
See that. I guess definitely we can. I got a few things I know. A couple people probably gladly sitting there. And you got a headset yet? Do you have a that you could use like for testing wises?
Me? Yeah, I got a Quest 3 and a Quest Pro. Although I don't use my Quest Pro anymore. It's kind of like just sat there. I had the Quest Pro for like 6 months or something, and I barely used it. And then I got the Quest 3, and I'm like, this is better. Even though the Pro was like $3,000 or something, $2,000.
Download Resonite, and whenever you get time, doesn't have to be whatever. I know you get busy, but just you mentioned something that would be mobile, desktop, and VR, like in that thing that's never been out there. You could think of Roblox, but how can I put this? You have to experience it for yourself to really understand it. And I think if you spent even just an hour inside of this platform, you would gain a lot of knowledge in that sense of like, yeah. So I mean, yeah, if you ever do, just Resonate. It's a free app. It's
I need to jump in there because it looks super fun. Not even just for research, but just for fun. So yeah, I never jumped in Resonate. I definitely went in Neos for like maybe 20 minutes, and then I moved on with my life. But it seemed fun, and I've seen lots of videos of people doing really cool stuff in Resonate.
Resonate is pretty much what Neos with the updates that could have been and should have came. So I mean, I will say that
But does Resonate do non-VR?
Yeah, it's desktop or everything. Like it's all.
Oh, okay. So it's like, and VR Chat's another one that does it. So the thing is that these are like VR first platforms, so the UX is not like it not be fully applicable.
That's what I guess I would say. I like a little bit more so than VR Chat versus Resonate, right? Or like even Neos back in the day. And that's why I used to say a lot of times, like even Hyperfy V1, in that sense, that was the closest thing you could find to Resonate or Neos or one of these in a browser, even now. So more so 1,000% in V2, even at the moment we are. Yeah. Like, it's kind of in that sense, like you've got your desktop controls and it's, intuitive. You can use it there, but at the same time, once you've popped the headset on back and forth, you're right there. You don't need to use Unity or an engine to build in it. It's all within the platform, right? You drag and drop in your assets. You're setting up scenes and grabbing it. If you want to position a building or something somewhere else, you just take your collider tool, set it, make it grabbable, and then move the son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like you would here in the browser. So I mean, it really is I love the avatar scaling that I just saw. They walked through this little tunnel and they came out like 10% the size of themselves. That was cool. And you can do that like there real time, anything. Like it's.
I love the idea of building in VR and having all of that kind of stuff in there, but I'm wondering like what the reality is when it comes to like you're in VR and you're like connecting all these little node things together. And I mean, first of all, I think that's like, I feel like that would take ages to get anything done. But what happens when you need a 3D model? Like you're in VR, do you just take your headset off and go jump into Blender? Or can you just like switch to Blender in VR, but then you've got these
use it in do you see this video that's here playing in right now in the world?
Yeah.
And that's me in VR. That's my desktop on a screen that I can use. I can actually pull up, use anything, whether it's like OBS, anything. You can just do it in the headset right there. You literally like never have to essentially take it off if you didn't want to. You might have to, but yeah, you could do everything within there. Multi-screens, popping it in. That's like it. I used to go in there and just stream. This was my streaming setup, like in there. Like so cool. Thank you, Rustan. I just seen this in the chat too as well. This is the portals, man, the TARDIS. I need to recreate the TARDIS in here. Yeah. But yeah, it's a whole new world. I think it definitely with V2 mixed with VR, because the VR support now at the moment, it's amazing. We sat there the other night, Howie and some of the other buddies in there for a good hour just exploring the world, going through like this. The voice chat was working normal, could be a little bit of bugs there, just turning around. But overall, I mean, it's better than some other platforms that have been out with VR support for a while. So, yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to go on a little ramble there. VR is my thing.
No, perfectly fine.
Yeah, nah, I agree. VR needs a little bit more love. I mean, we've got VR right now. We just need to kind of we need to interact, and we need more avatar control and stuff like that. What I'd like to do is offset something we did in V1 was we had we had proper IK and stuff like that. We didn't have leg IK. But the way that it was doing that was kind of expensive in that you could have a couple of avatars, but then it just started getting a little bit crazy. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, I think V2 is way better positioned for that. And also, I think when we do inverse kinematics for movement and arms and legs, that we should probably be doing that in a web worker. Just for performance reasons.
Is a web worker
we'll
an API?
It's just so on the web, everything is single-threaded. JavaScript is single-threaded, and so you quickly can reach the limits of that. And on the web, there's a couple of ways of getting around that, but you can get to separate threads by just creating a web worker. So that just spawns a whole new thread that it will run code on. So you get another 16 milliseconds per frame to do a whole bunch of extra work. And that's actually what we're doing with particles right now. So the whole particle system is we create all of the initial part of the particles and the configuration, and then we send it to the web worker and say, hey, run this at 60 FPS and just tell us when particles move. And that means you'll notice in V2, if you spawned 5 billion particles, which no computer would ever be able to handle, your world will still run at 60 FPS. Just the particles won't move. Because the particles can't, particles are being updated in some web worker, and it's I can't. It's taking, 20 seconds to update each frame. So it just never calls back home and says, hey, particles have moved. So yeah, it's nice doing like that. And I think if we do the same sort of thing with IK, then you can keep the insane performance that we currently have. And yeah.
Whatever you've done so far, I got to admit, I know back in the days I was kind of, I don't even call it cheating the system, but using all those. And I mean, it was a hit on performance. It was. So I'm glad now seeing these particles. I've been using some different ones and trying stuff. And it is, the amount of stuff you can get in there before it even really starts affecting it is, it's kind of had one moment earlier where it was, it pushed it to its max and I dropped down to about 17 FPS, but it was because there was probably a few thousand in there. Yeah. On one. But no, you've done a great job on this for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Howie's got a good point. Roblox is more of a game than an engine. She's aiming at survival crafting games. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the idea with the original building, right? Where it was let's not give people a gizmo out of the box because then it feels like you're in Blender, and that's not fun compared to Rust building or Fortnite building. So it was kind of the idea was just to have really good build mode, which works really well if you have assets that are origined on the floor and have snap points on a lot of stuff. It does work really, really good for that, I think, at least in my own opinion. But then you need gizmos for things where you want more fine-grained control. But yeah, I agree. Aiming at survival crafting games. People spend that, yeah. The engine, because good Roblox devs spend 1,000 hours building because they can profit from it. Yep. Host a Rust server, or you can build Rust in Hyperfy and host the Hyperfy world to make your own. Yeah.
Well, we do have mining, so we got mining covered, survival mining. We just need to turn those mats into crafting stations.
Yeah.
Grab some of that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got a little bit of crafting stuff there.
Mhm.
Gotta need to get them popped in. You know,
Yeah,
there's a good
metaverses fail, I think, a lot because they're this weird hybrid of, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. It's like the idea of the metaverse made sense, but the way that went about it was just like missing something fundamental. Whereas I think with V2, with this concept of like apps and like being able to have apps as anything, like an app can be a freaking little race car you can drive around. An app can be a drone that's useful for building and flying around in, but you know, mounts and pets and like all that kind of stuff. You just can do that in any other of these like so-called metaverse platforms. But like to me, that is the freaking stuff you need to have in metaverse platforms, because that's where all the fun and the like utilities and all that kind of stuff come from. Yeah.
Yeah, even just right now, seeing so many people in a world and kind of like playing around, getting a feel of what you can do together and with screen share, and you know, sure, it's not a completely perfect meeting space or world yet, but it gave people an opportunity to kind of be in one space and maybe get a test of what collaborative building is like, because I know some people are kind of siloed away and doing their own thing in their own worlds.
I think the ultimate goal is that you can be in a digital world where anything can happen at any goddamn time, and you like you have no freaking idea what's going to happen next, and it just happens. Like that's basically where ultimate fun comes from, and ultimate like wow moments, because it's like, I don't know, yeah, anything should be possible. If you want to drop down a dinosaur called Susan that you can then run around on, and like nobody in that world has seen that before, and it just happened, and then people were running around on freaking raptors called Susan, then that should be possible.
I mean, you bring up a good point, and I think like at this point, if there's only one way to test, it's like, what if everybody just got a power up at the same exact time? I don't know. If it works, it works.
I would say what makes the metaverse work or could work is that interoperability, is the ability, like you say, to drop in your Susan and ride around on the Raptor. That is, I think, what makes or breaks a potential metaverse or world within the metaverse.
If you think about like what makes something fun in real life, it's that you can go anywhere, but you can also take things with you. Like if I go over to my friend's house, I can bring games and like food. Like I can anything can happen at any freaking time. And I think like half of the idea of fun is that like it's more spontaneous, and it's open for spontaneous things to happen at any time. Whereas like a lot of games have rails where it's like, I'm in this Roblox world, and this Roblox world is completely coded by one team or dev to do only these things, and nothing else can happen in that world. Whereas like in Hyperfy, the idea is that anything can happen at any freaking time. Something that I build in one world can happen in another world, because I can just take it and move it and put it in there. Yeah.
Yep, and eventually we'll figure out the security for it. I think there has to be some level of security, but I think at the moment, let's just let people bring the stuff. bring their backpack. Or
Yeah, I
their
don't think
bucket.
that's not a massive issue. I don't think we can do like signatures on apps so that you can only let certain people, like certain creators, apps in your worlds. That's easy. We'll get to that at some point. I think there may be some other things that we need to think about for sure, but yeah.
Yep.
Those things like that are the least of my worries.
Connecting the worlds, that's a good point. Yes. I live for the day that I can go up to a portal and I could like see what's going on in the other side. We got the screen sharing, so
Well, we can.
somehow. Go ahead.
I mean, the day is right now. You could just have that. I could just open it in another tab and put a screen share right next to it and show you what's going on in the other world.
Yeah.
Could do that right now.
Let's do it. I know we only got a couple minutes, but yeah, let's do it.
That's funny. Camera streaming.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just take
like webcams.
Yeah, you could do webcam, or you could just take the screen.
Yeah. Drop it right over here.
Put it next to the portal.
Right behind the portal, because it's a little transparent. Yeah.
Well, you gotta have screen share, right? Don't you?
Use a gizmo.
Yes, it has screen share. Screen share, and then you need Play World open. I don't know if I can handle it right now.
Oh, let's see. I could try opening it.
I turned the aura off. My bad.
Yeah, if you just add the Play World to that screen share right there.
Well, let's see.
And then you could have that.
Oh, I can do it. I'll go on my screen share.
Or if you use something like OBS or Polypop and you had like all the worlds in one screen, so you can kind of have a control board of like every world that's going on, and then the portal's next to it, so you can just choose which one you want.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's
Voila.
Oh yeah. Okay, now we need somebody
That's
jumping
terrible.
in.
But you get the point. Well, it's live. If you're in there, you can see people.
Let's do it. Let me jump in there so I can see myself.
That's funny.
This is it. This is the future being made right now. Oh man, imagine that like the flying worm comes out through the portal.
Out of it, yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Where are you, Ash? So I can. Oh man, my computer is like spinning now.
Yeah, that would be next level if the animated VRMs could go through the portals on their own.
Yeah, like portal identity and stuff.
Yeah, then you can send Eliza portal hopping, doing stuff for you.
Yeah, I had to stop the screen share because I think Playworld has something weird in it. It makes me freeze a bit.
No.
Although now I'm wondering if it's the meat world.
Could also be that.
Videos of what worlds is explored.
I think I can. There you go.
That'd be awesome. Like a rover.
Totally.
Oh, we just need a drone.
Yo, Ash, what I meant by camera streaming though was like in world, like CCTV. Like, can I put a camera in the world and then stream that view to a plane in the world, to a screen or something?
Camera in the world. Oh, so like in the world. No, but yeah, we could probably add that.
That would be sick.
Because that would be great.
Especially if we can add that in a way that view's output could be streamed to another world screen, then we could do exactly that portal thing.
Yep.
That would be cool.
Oh man,
So
and since it's like a self-hosted world, you could expose an endpoint for your cameras that are running on clients. Yeah, that's cool.
And you could even then use it like I was using the stream camera. Like I was opening a browser source in OBS and attaching it to the stream camera, but you could just stream that right out, possibly through like RTMP or something, straight to a Twitch or something, I would suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, an in-world camera that streams to like a plane doesn't require any kind of streaming. It's just like a video texture from a camera in the world. I think the rendering would be. I mean, almost double rendering.
We're kind of going to need that anyway if we're ever going to put mirrors in, right? We're going to need.
Yeah.
That's how a mirror would work, even.
Yeah, mirrors use a cube camera or something. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. There's games like is it Hitman and whatever, where you have to check the security cameras before you go around, or they'll see you, like the stealth games.
My favorite was Splinter Cell, when you had the camera on, when you shoot the sticky cameras on walls and look around corners.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so much fun. God, thank you for the suggestion. You're right. My dream is so close. It's right there. This is it.
It's so close.
But yeah, we got to throw some CCTV stuff on it, and we got active portals that people can bounce between worlds. So cool. We are a little over time, but definitely liked the jiving, the jamming we got here. Any other questions from the group? And then Ash, if there's any last things you'd like to say, and let us know from as a community if there's something you'd like us to look at or keep experimenting with.
Just keep having fun and keep experimenting with things. If you run into any issues, let me know. Post in issues channel and stuff like that. I want to squash bugs. They shouldn't exist. They're bad for business.
Bugs are bad for business.
But yeah, I'm going to keep on focusing on the things that I've been doing. So like, I'm really stoked to, within the space of a week, to go from what it was to having videos, to having screen sharing, to having all this voice chat and particles. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good week. Let's hope that next week's just as insane in terms of apps and UX and maybe VR improvements and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah, we're with the VR stuff. We can then start screen sharing what we're seeing from VR.
Ooh.
And start living vicariously through our screens.
Does VR have...
Dr. Doge is the professional at that.
I'm going to have to test that.
As soon as building is possible in VR, you're never going to get the headset off of Doge. You will be in Hyperfy VR forever from here on out.
That's funny.
Look, I'll be honest. Look, if y'all want, I'll pop in general for a bit. If you got time and y'all want to look, just let me know whenever, and I'll gladly pop in and like show y'all some. Yeah, but you're absolutely right, Howie. I don't think I would be out the headset if they was actually building in Hyperfy into VR. I mean, we were in there. Look how long the other night, bro, and I almost didn't get out. The only reason I did, because my shit died. So yeah.
Background. When I first met Doge like 2 years ago, he was heavy into Neos and Resonite at the time. And I swear to God, 2 weeks straight, he was in the headset 16, 24 hours a day sometimes.
I had a problem. I did. Like, it was, I think in a 7-month period, I logged 2,200 hours in Neos in the headset. Yep. Getting it through, I think right now I've got 37 worlds I have. That's some, I think like 15 are public in there. I like it.
That's crazy. Yeah. I have to check out some of those worlds.
How far? Y'all ever need some tours or something? Yeah. Yeah. We can give y'all some tours. Give it here. But yeah, now VR within here, full capabilities. Not even full capabilities, but like building capabilities and just things in here in Hyperfy. It's a wrap. I guarantee you, it wouldn't just be me. There's a lot more people I think that would open up to.
Cool. on that note, Ash, it would be cool for VR. Like, picture you're in the VR headset, right? And you hit whatever button it is, that goes into build mode to like inspect and it like open a code editor. And in VR have just like a code editor panel that comes up in 3D space with like a pass through that you can see your keyboard, like almost like immersed VR apps and stuff that you can actually type through, pass through, you know?
Yeah.
And have full in-world coding in VR would be crazy.
How does a keyboard show up in Resonate?
It doesn't.
Well,
Shitty. They have
You
like
got
an
a virtual
in-world
one,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, virtual one, yeah. You want pass through, yeah.
Yep. You'd want it. Most of the time, I mean, as much as I've used it, I've used the inboard a few times. They've got, I mean, there's some if you're using like Red X and other things you can make and have like custom ones, but there is one, Howie, you'll remember it. It was down towards the end, and I do believe it was Orange that gave it to me. It was an actual, if you had a Bluetooth keyboard, right, you could use your Bluetooth keyboard and it would like mimic the one that was in there set up to it key for key in there. So you wouldn't have to have the virtual, like, you know, flat, whatever. You could just pick it up, no different than like a PlayStation controller, whatever. And when your fingers would hit it and type, if you were using the full body, you could, it would work as if you were right there, like on that keyboard, it would sync to it. So, I mean, yeah, stuff like that is possible too. But most time you don't need to do it with your hands.
How do we get coding in the menu system and stuff that we have? We can get that in well, but I'm not sure about the code editor. How do we get that in VR?
Pop open with a menu that comes up and then just have the same thing. I mean, it would be.
We couldn't render Monaco to an in-world UI?
I already
I don't
have
think
that.
so.
Interesting.
Because it has to be on a canvas, which is what all our UI stuff does. But not the code editor, isn't. Yeah. I'm sure there's ways. We'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, could you?
Maybe we can. I'll play around with it. I have a couple instances of Monaco going in one right now.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. I think we're coming up to like an hour and 10 minutes. Sorry, I was late. I slept in. I set my alarm, but my alarm was left in the computer room and I didn't hear it, so I just slept through it.
So you're saying you left your computer room? That happens?
Yeah, occasionally I'll leave the room, go touch grass, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, thank you. No, you're all good, and really appreciate everybody coming together. This was cool build and screen share and hacking together. I'm sure we're going to keep playing around with this and get this fully live, full sessions in world.
Oh yeah,
we're going to dog food it up.
It handled it pretty good today. I will say that there was like 8, 9 of us in here. I'm pretty sure, maybe 10. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Nah, you could have 100 of you in there. Easy, I reckon. Oh, with custom avatars, maybe. You'd start seeing something if everyone had different avatars, but yeah.
Throw down some avatar stations for us.
That's true.
Alrighty.
It's true. Maybe we'll have a little, like, I'll find some models and stuff we can put in here for next time.
Mm-hmm.
Close it up a bit.
All right, thanks all. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Later, gang.